Child. Can somebody come over here and look at this? Man kills girlfriend and mutilates her body. Mom found her with no breasts, no vagina, and no eyes. Yo, this is some real demonic type of things. Like, what? See, and after reading, because basically the girl's mom was saying that, they were dating for 3 years. He was taking care of her financially, giving her everything that she wanted, and basically changed her life. And honestly, ladies and the young women of today, please hear me when I say this. Everything that glitter is not gold, beloved. It's not. And not every single man that has money is this demonic or might go this overboard. But you never want to put yourself in a bad situation. And there's a lot of times where you hear men who have money, sometimes they feel like you are their property, especially if they're doing a lot for you. My condolences goes out to this girl, her family. This is just lost for words, yo. Like, you did what? Now, the killing is still bad because you should never commit a sin like that. I don't understand why people will go to that great extent. You are not God. How dare you take somebody's life from them? Basically, you're basically saying, oh, you don't need to live anymore. Who are you to do that? And then for the overkill, yo, I don't know about y'all, but I am very heavy in spiritual stuff. Like, very. And this right here, that sounds like a sacrifice to me, if you ask me. That's why once again, everything that glitter isn't gold. And I'm pretty sure if a lot of y'all knew how some people came about their riches, their wealth, you would be very surprised. Or you probably wouldn't even want to be in their shoes. I just went on his Instagram and he went on a complete rant. Basically admitting that he did it and all this other stuff. But he's just basically saying that he stabbed her out of anger and ran away. How were there parts of her body missing? Yeah, I'm done with this.
So let's be real. The reason why people are always trying to get black women to have children outside of marriage is to humble them. They want you to be a baby mama because they know it ruins your life. As this person says, misery loves company. They will advise you to ruin your life right along with them. They don't want you to escape generational trauma. And I just find if a woman has had a black woman has had a very wholesome, clean cut image like Keke Palmer, and she makes the baby mama announcement, the girls on IG and on Twitter are hyping it up. They love it because they want you to suffer with them. I see a lot more negativity, a lot more apprehension, a lot more qualms when a black woman makes a marriage announcement. I saw a lot more negativity when Serena, got married to Alexis Ohanian. And I have to say, for accuracy's sake, I'm not going to lie for my girl, she did get pregnant first, although I believe they were engaged before she got pregnant. But anyhow, people were all whatever for the baby. But when she married the guy, it was, I don't know, interracial marriage might not last, because she had a big, beautiful wedding. The man's clearly desperately in love with her. And all of a sudden it's, I'm so suspicious. I don't see this working out. But when a black woman, is baby mama, Naomi Osaka, Keke Palmer, Brandy, all these young women with all this potential and power who were clean-cut, well-living young ladies, it's hype. And I do not like that, And one of my favorite creators, Pink Optics, on here just talked about the other day how if you are a child-free young black woman and you're living well, your own people will start pregnancy rumors about you. I can confirm this has definitely happened to me. I moved far from my home state to get my graduate degrees. I'm getting a PhD now. I got the master's first. And next thing I know, some old bitter hag in my family started a rumor that I had gone up north, as the old people say, because I was pregnant. And I promise you, if this woman had not been almost 90 years old, I definitely would have jumped on her. But this was a distant relative who her child never did anything. And of course, her granddaughter has out of wedlock children, plural. So she's jealous. And it all just goes back to this whole thing being about envy, stripe, crabs in a barrel. Like, people do not want to see you doing well. They know this is a mistake. They know it's a bad thing, and that's why they hype it up for you. I'm sorry, but something I have always said, because it's true, is if you want to know if something is good or bad, look at how many of us are feeding into it. Drugs are bad. We can all agree drugs are bad. And you know how you know? You don't even have to look at the consequences. You can listen to our music and know drugs are bad because we hyping the hell out of them drugs. Ooh, Molly. Ooh, lean. Ooh, this. Ooh, that. You know it's bad because we hype up anything that is not positive. It's like we're trying to sabotage ourselves. Education, that makes you a lame. Being nice to your woman, that makes you a simp. Anything positive, anything that's going to lead to a good family structure and a healthy whole family, a good sense of identity and self, we have something negative to say about that. Your man spending money on you, oh, he's a simp. Oh, he's gonna be controlling. Oh, he gonna be abusive. But if a man is done nothing for you, oh, that's real love. Yeah, we gonna struggle together. We gonna ride or die. Ugh. And it's so consistent. Even people in the church, because while I'm not a Christian, my parents are still very religious. And I go on occasion when I'm at home for like holidays and stuff. And I'll see the old people who I only see once a year or whatever. And these old women, again, whose daughters and granddaughters have had a whole house full of out of wedlock kids, have something to say to me. Oh, when you gonna have a baby? When I'm married, ma'am. It's actually never, but I like to, twist the knife if I can. I always act so shocked. A baby? No, ma'am. I'm a good Christian girl. I am not a Christian, but make it fun for yourself. No, ma'am. I just don't believe in that. I could never. The Bible says. And then they get quiet. Because, why wouldn't I want to hurt your feelings? You're trying to sabotage my life. You clearly hate me. So yes, if you do not have children, please do not be the sacrifice, okay? Don't let these people fool you. They are telling you something bad to hurt you. So don't fall for it. Protect your womb at all costs. That's it. Like and follow for more.
I believe there's a demonic spirit inside these black men.
Unfortunately, this is truth. There's a reason why they called Kevin Samuels the Godfather. Because one, these men have no God, and a lot of them don't have fathers. Generally, what happens with any human being is if they don't have some type of spiritual life or relationship with God, or particularly if they don't have a relationship with their father or mother, they will seek other things to try and fill those voids, i.e. what happened with Kevin Samuels. They called this man the Godfather. And I heard that phrase used one time with a guy that I know. He's in his 30s. He's like, Kevin Samuels is the Godfather. And then I had said, oh, you're God Kevin Samuels. And he had got upset with me. But really, in truth, they treat Kevin Samuels like he's some sort of deity or like he's some sort of God. And like some weird type of God that helps perpetuate the misogynoir against black women. I'll give another example of what I was taught to put it into perspective. You have something called astral travel, or what I was taught, it was called illegal travel. It's where your spirit can leave your body and you can travel in the spirit realm or around without being attached to your body. But I was taught that it's illegal travel because if your spirit is not inside of your body is an open vessel for other things to come in. It's the same concept when men don't have some type of a spiritual life or doesn't have some type of relationship with God. They will go searching for it. This is the reason why you see a lot of men who sleep with a lot of women, hop from woman to woman. They're trying to fill that void that only God can fill. And listen, I know a lot of y'all probably don't believe in religion, probably don't believe in God. But at the end of the day, the thing about women is most of us have some type of a spiritual life. Whether it is, the New Age, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, witchcraft, whatever. We have some type of spiritual life. And with a lot of the spiritual practices that we women get involved in, most of them have this concept of if you do something bad to someone else, something bad eventually is going to happen to you, or you'll get your karma, or in terms of Christianity, you'll reap what you sow. But when you're dealing with a group of men who don't believe in God, and the women in my community have enabled these men to the point where they're not worried about consequences for their actions, because a lot of them have the mentality of who's going to stop them. They don't believe in God. They don't believe they'll ever be held accountable for their actions. But to come back a little bit full circle, the whole point is because these men don't have a relationship with God, Christ, they are completely open. And when you have things like childhood abuse, anger, fear, it's opening these guys up to be hosted by demonic walk-in spirits from what I'm seeing. And listen, a lot of y'all may not know this, and I may not present well when you guys look at my videos and when I talk, but I am a Christian. I do believe in God. I do believe in Jesus. And honestly, with a lot of these men, it's something evil in them. And they need some type of higher power or divine intervention or something to come in and stop them, because at this point it has just gotten really ridiculous. And I'm going to keep it real. Like, I feel like if these men had some level of a solid relationship with a God who in the back of their mind, they would be thinking, hey, if I do this one day, I'm going to be held accountable. Maybe I shouldn't do this. They probably wouldn't be coming online doing the stuff that they're doing or doing the stuff that they're doing to us in public. But I honestly feel like because they literally have no fear of God, that they just do the stuff that they do. I'm going to give an example. I remember two popular, or I don't want to call them popular, but it was Jeffrey Dahmer and the other guy, the son of Sam. And I remember watching clips or a documentary where Jeffrey Dahmer and the son of Sam had said something very profound to me. It was just like a lot of the reason why they did what they did is because they didn't think that they were ever going to suffer consequences for what they did. Like there wasn't going to be a God or a higher power that was going to hold them accountable for what they did. And this just goes back full circle to something else, that like we women are trying to talk and talk and talk to these men and reason with them, and it's not working. The only thing these men are going to understand at this point in time going forward is consequences. And by consequences, I mean completely cut off their access to you and to women and to having families. And right now they are having their temper tantrum because it's slowly happening, and a lot of them will get violent. But ladies, you must understand that if these men get violent, please learn the laws in your state. Get yourselves armed. I don't care if you don't even live in the United States. Find something to where you can defend yourself with and take some self-defense classes, because there has to be consequences for when these men get violent, because they feel entitled to abusing us and having access to our bodies. And I could go over the logistics of what demon possession is, but if I could break it down, demonic possession isn't necessarily spinning heads and your eyes rolling back in your head. If I could explain demonic possession the way it was explained to me, essentially demonic possession is there is nothing that you say or that you do that doesn't have the expressed approval and permission of Satan, the devil, or one of his minions himself. That essentially is what demonic possession is. Everything that you say or do has the approval of the devil. Now, you do have people who can be demonically influenced, but a lot of the stuff that's coming out of these guys' mouths and the vile, revolting filth, it's evil. And honestly, all these men that come on my page and all the men that I've seen with the Carlisha Russell situation, the Megan Thee Stallion situation, the situation with Roe getting hit with the brick. Honestly, I rebuke that stuff. Like, I was literally in my car. Like, I wanted to cry, but I was literally in my car having to blast my gospel music because that is how much this situation bothers me. And it bothers me even more when I know men personally in my own life that went to church and that I grew up with that are like that. And it's just really, really upsetting and hurtful to me.
Okay guys, something very serious is happening in Dallas is that there's a man who is a public health threat. He is going around giving men and women HIV. So he's like pretty much bisexual that tries to act straight. And what he does is he is a major player. I met him myself, but he doesn't strike you as a player because he's not that attractive. So he is attractive enough though. Plus when he like starts doing his moves on you, speaking in Spanish, etc., he knows how to talk to a woman and make her feel special and try to swoon her. And he eventually gets them to have unprotected sex with him, if not on the first date, like if they're drunk or something. And he will give you HIV. He's given at least 6 women that I know of HIV in DFW. And so not only men, straight men are at risk, because if you're having straight sex with straight women, guess what? You You just got HIV from a dude who pretends to be straight but has sex with men. And he's just very angry and bitter about it, so he just goes around giving people HIV. He denies it. He does not care about anyone, and he even tried to get with me, and something told me, he invited me over for breakfast, and I was like, oh, how nice, a guy who's gonna cook for me, being totally naive. Well, then he's like trying to get handsy with me, and I was like, whoa, I didn't sign up for this. And something told me, aka God, told me to get out of there. And I didn't understand why fully, but I was just like, I didn't want to be that guy and be like, yeah, I gotta go, and make it awkward and whatnot when he was trying to do something nice for me. But then I was like, no, I gotta get out of here. I just felt like an unction in my spirit, and I'm so freaking glad that God was speaking to me, because he could have sexually assaulted me and given me HIV if I didn't get out of there quick enough. And I was just like, oh my goodness, it's such a huge relief when you feel like you just got away with your life, because if I would have gotten it, I would have been absolutely devastated. It would have been an enormous blow, because I'm not even sexually active like that. So anyways, just a warning, pretty much I can't say who it is because I'm trying not to get sued for defamation and slander, but what I can say, I'm trying not to give out like identifying information, and be careful. If anyone is an attorney, a lawyer, and can give me some advice, I have tried to look up what I can and can't say, but it is still a little bit tricky. So he is a Latino male who is 30. He is about 6 foot. He has tattoos and dark brown hair like mine, dark brown eyes. And you would never, ever, ever guess that he's bisexual, because he passes as straight. There's no bisexual vibes that you get from him at all. And I have a friend who he infected, and he just infected another girl this past week. And he will get you pregnant, and he has a lot of kids, and he will never actually support you or the children. He lives life as a single man. When I went over to his apartment, there wasn't a single sign that he has a child. There wasn't a toy. He has a lot of young kids. Wasn't a toy around. Wasn't any indication that this man is in fact a father. So please stop having unprotected sex. Stop getting drunk, because that's when you are more vulnerable. Stop trusting these men, because you would never think, you would never ever guess that this guy who treats you so nicely is in fact trying to have unprotected sex with you and give you HIV without batting an eye. He has zero remorse, zero regret for this. A complete sociopath. But yeah, he's like slim, slender. He's not overweight, and he's not necessarily like stick skinny either. So I hope that doesn't get me in trouble, but be safe out there, guys. So there's a man in DFW who is knowingly infecting women and men with HIV. He is a Latino male, about 6 foot tall. He has a slender, slim fit build. He's not fat, he's not overweight. He's 30 years old, dark brown hair, dark brown eyes. He usually has a clean shaven face, maybe a little bit of stubble, and he is tatted. He has a sleeve with fish on his left arm, but I can't really say his name for legal issues, for legal reasons. His initials are AC, and people have been posting his name in the comment section, but I won't say it. So he goes by several aliases. He has a name and a nickname for his first name, and then he uses his brother's last name sometimes and his own name other times. The whole point of me making the video is to warn people that this is not a gay disease. This is for anyone who is sexually active, and it's happening in every major city. This is not exclusive to DFW. There are people, you can look it up in the news, there are people who have knowingly infected people with HIV. So that's the point of the video. A lot of you want to say, what's the point if you're not going to tell us a name? Well, that's the point. Be careful. Start demanding STD tests. So I met a guy in Dallas, and he tried to seduce me and give me HIV. And this guy was seen on a gay dating app, and he typically doesn't disclose to his victims that he also has sex with men. And so he was like really adamant about like trying to get me in a vulnerable position, and something told me to get out of there, and so I left. Later on, I met this woman and on Facebook because of a post made about him, and she said that he had infected her with HIV. And so I don't have proof, because I don't have like her HIV test, but she did report it to the police. It has been reported to the CDC and the Department of Health, but they don't have enough substantial evidence in order to make an arrest. Even though they confiscated her cell phone and saw text messages, he never admitted to it, so there's nothing incriminating enough in the text messages, and that's why he's still out there. He has infected at least 6 women, and they are afraid for whatever reason to come forward, typically because what he's done is he's been a serial dater. He has multiple women that he is the boyfriend to, and they're all over DFW, and some of them don't know about each other, and some of them do, and they eventually find out. But the way he's gotten them to have unprotected sex with him is generally he will make them fall in love with him, and their guard will be down, and then they will get infected. And he will never tell them. They have to figure out from someone else that they've probably been infected, or by getting STD tests. But a lot of women will go a very long time without ever suspecting they have it, because they wouldn't think that someone that told them that he loves them would ever do something like that. So that's how come it's been able to spread. And these are very educated women. Now, I'm not really able to say who it is because I don't have a lawyer that I'm in contact with to seek legal advice for slander and defamation. A lot of people are saying, well, you can say allegedly and that'll protect you. But at this point, I don't think it will, because I've already said I know who it is, I met the guy, etc., etc. And I believe that there may be like HIPAA laws protecting him from having to prove that he is, that, or, you know, like they say, he has to disprove you that, no, look, I have a clean HIV test. I don't think so, because I think there's laws protecting you from having to reveal your health status to people, and the CDC knows, and I don't think anything's been done, and the police are also moving at like a snail's pace, and they pretty much have their hands tied because he's very careful, and that's why he's still out there. And he just recently infected someone else. People keep looking for a guy. They want the guy. They're on a witch hunt. They're like, show us the guy, give us the guy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys don't understand HIV. They're like, what part of Dallas is he in? HIV is not chilling in a part of Dallas. HIV is traveling, and that's what happened. He's already infected someone hundreds of miles away because he travels. So I'm saying, you guys think that you're safe because you're not in a certain part of Dallas? Wrong. The HIV that he's been infecting people with for years has already traveled to many people. So all of you straight people who think you'll never get HIV, think again, and y'all better stop having unprotected sex and stop coming for me because y'all want the right to have your unprotected sex. You're thinking that you're like, okay, I'll avoid all men with this description. But the fact of the matter is, it could be a straight woman you're having sex with because she didn't know that he had HIV when she had sex with him. It could be a straight man you're having unprotected sex with because that's the nature of the virus. And so it's just like, I'm just like fed up because people like keep coming for me as if I'm the bad guy and saying that I'm protecting a predator. No, actually, I don't want all of my income and any future wages to go to a sexual predator. That's the truth of the matter. He's done enough damage. I'm trying to warn people, and it's not my job to protect you just because you don't want to take responsibility for your own sexual health and demand STD tests and be very careful. And that's why I'm saying, anyone in Texas, any of the surrounding cities, you got to watch out because this man is on the loose and he's not stopping for anyone. And he's persistent, yo. I'm so glad God told me to get out there. Thank you, Jesus. But he hit me up many times afterwards, and he also tries to use like nice little techniques and tactics to get you, like cooking breakfast for you. And the reason I'm upset is because you guys have been some of the most hateful, ungrateful people because I won't give a name. Y'all like, shut up, all this stuff that on a video I posted on TikTok. When the fact of the matter is, you should be careful and you should be grateful that you have now been warned and this is a wake-up call. And y'all are trying to shoot the messenger. For what? You still don't believe me and you think I'm doing this for clout? Go ahead. Go have unprotected sex, but when you get tested, don't cry about it later.